Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and good morning, but kind of I guess that covers it. Hope y'all are having a restful, peaceful Sabbath. This week's Torah portion is, probably won't get the Hebrew right, Vayeshev, and he dwelt, is from Genesis 37 through 40:23. And this Torah portion, or this Parsha, has a special place with me, because Heather Duncan gave us a homework assignment one of the last times she did her Torah portion. And she said, find your birth Torah portion. And this is actually my birth Torah portion. Thank you. It was a couple weeks ago, but I appreciate it. But it was kind of funny because it's about Joseph, and I'm somebody that has vivid dreams. I've actually had dreams come true, like deja vu dreams, like dozens of times in my life. And I even told somebody here, I had a dream, a very vivid dream about them. It was Zach Jarvis. I didn't get his permission, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it. Anyway, I don't know how, I guess we're at a zoo or something, and Zach Jarvis jumps into a tank with a hippopotamus. And we tell him to get out of there. He gets out of there, and he's in another room. And somebody opens the door, and here comes a polar bear. And anyway, so I ended up hitting the polar bear and then ended up petting it, and then Zach climbs out. I really don't know what that means. At first this week, I said, I really don't want to go to the zoo with Zach Jarvis. But part of me now said, maybe I should go because he needs some supervision. But anyway, back to Genesis. It starts out with his brothers kind of despise him. They don't like him because he's daddy's favorite, right? Think about that kid. You like him more than he likes me. And, this continues even when they're adults and 20-something years old and not maturing. And so he's already not their favorite, and they don't like him. They don't despise him. They despise him. And he tells them, hey, I got a dream. You're going to bow to me. Yeah, you little punk. We're not going to bow to you. And same thing to his mom and dad. And his dad's like, me and your mom going to bow to you? Think about this, son. Think about it. And he also told on his brothers. I thought about the saying, snitches get stitches. I guess that's about a 3,500-year-old principle. Well, they got thrown in a well or a cistern, however, whichever version you got. So his brothers sell him into slavery. And then his brothers lie to their father at his father's mourning. Then kind of Genesis 38 is kind of like, where'd that come from? And it's like, oh, well, God does rabbit trails too, but tells you a little bit what was going on, because Tamar ended up in the genealogy of Christ, so it's very important there. Then he's sold to Potiphar, and then he was brought way up in there in Potiphar's house and elevated status. Then Potiphar's wife tried to tempt him, tried to get him, tried to grab him. He gets out of there. So, whew, man. Then he's in prison. He gets elevated there. Then some others are put in jail with him, and they have dreams. And so he says, let me go with chapter 40 and verse 9, see what they are. It said, so the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph. He said to him, in my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms shot forth, and the clusters ripened the grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. And then Joseph said to him, this is the interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days Pharaoh will lift you up and restore you to your office, and you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand, and formerly when you were his cupbearer. All right, we're going to go to 16. And then when the chief cupbearer saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked food for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating it out of the basket of my head. And Joseph answered, this is the interpretation. 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days Pharaoh will lift you up, lift up your head from you, and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh from you. Wow. Part of me is like, what did the beggar say? Can I get a second opinion? Can I go take a nap and try to dream again? It doesn't say. But I want to go back to, I got a couple minutes. Chapter 39, Potiphar's wife. You know, in the story, Joseph fled from Potiphar's wife. David brought up something about sexual sin last week in a sermon, and try to be careful with kids. And that is one sin that's told we're supposed to flee from. You know, flee fornication, flee sexual sin. And I was thinking about, what is it? Flee. You know, run. You know, I know we say run into the Lord's our refuge. He's our strong tower. In it we'll all be safe. Yes, we should pray, but if somebody's trying to run and somebody's fleeing from these things and they ask, hey, I need some help. I'm struggling with this sin. I'm struggling with that. Be a brother. Be a sister. Be that place for them. This is a very supportive place. It's kind of funny. It's like Torah community, legalist. This is probably the most gracious place I've been. So keep that up. But if somebody needs help, somebody's struggling with something, somebody say, hey, pray for me. I need some help. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling there. Take time. Pray with them. Be a friend. Go to the tower with them. Shabbat shalom.